You didn't talk all game. You're not listening to your teammates, and you're not paying attention. You guys just need to focus way more for next game. Because this game was all on you guys.
The coaching staff doesn't want to work with you. They feel like it's a really unprofessional, unhealthy work environment.
By GBM, Lysandra is low though. Into the front line goes Lorlo. A triple kill for Dardoch, killing everybody with a quadra kill.
So I checked out all 36 minutes of this game. I don't think that's accurate at all, Loco. I made him.
You can't take criticism at all.
I take criticism just fine when it's actual criticism.
The main problem was obviously me. There's only one person that changed, so watching them go to Worlds in general is obviously really saddening, and that was like probably my lowest point. After a certain amount of times when a player keeps asking to get traded after each split, somebody's going to be like, why is he not sticking on one team?
This is the end of the series and the end of the line for Dignitas, as TSM will make swift work of Dignitas with a 3-0 victory and will move on to the next round of playoffs.
Despite being only 22, Dardoch has been on so many NA LCS teams that it's easier to remember which rosters he hasn't been a part of. And the reason why he's jumped from team to team doesn't actually have very much to do with his skill as a player.
It's just like the thing with Dardoch is when things get bad, there's no getting better. It just all goes downhill after that.
Dardoch's Achilles heel has always been his attitude.
Move backwards. Okay, it's over. You guys don't listen to the teamfight calls at all, actually. It's actually quite astonishing.
Oh, God bless Dardoch isn't on my team. I don't care if he's getting fucking annoying to play with.
As far back as 2014, Dardoch had a pretty bad reputation.
I wouldn't really let people get words in or, speak their opinion or even reply to what I had to say. It was just like, I want you to do this, and if you don't, there's gonna be a problem.
He got banned for being toxic, for leaving, for being the kind of player you never want to see on your team in solo queue. But he was good enough to go pro, which meant his attitude only really caught up with him when he joined Team Liquid in 2016.
Dardoch gets one traded back in by GBM. Lysandra is low though. Into the front line goes Lorlo. A triple kill for Dardoch, killing everybody with a quadra kill.
While other players would try to take advantage of being part of an enormous established org like Team Liquid, Dardoch made different choices.
Okay, I agree with Loco. I'm agreeing with Loco.
I disagree with Loco 100%. I think it's absolute bullshit. Everything coming out of his mouth came from the ass first.
You can't take criticism at all.
I take criticism just fine when it's actual criticism.
His allegedly volatile relationship with his teammates, coaches, and even Team Liquid management became a hot topic of discussion in the league community after he was suspended for what Team Liquid called behavioral issues and insubordination.
Coaching staff doesn't want to work with you. They feel like it's a really unprofessional, unhealthy work environment. Obviously, from a business standpoint, I am investing a ton of money, so it's extremely costly for me to run a business where I'm investing into things and then they want to just quit because of the environment that's being created.
And Dardoch's departure from Team Liquid in November 2016 was just the first of many.
You didn't talk all game. You're not listening to your teammates, and you're not paying attention. You guys just need to focus way more for next game. Because this game was all on you guys, bottom.
Despite being one of the best junglers North America has ever produced, Dardoch has never seemed to be able to get along with his teammates, and that's crippled his career.
With Immortals, certainly a lot of the games we won last split were Dardoch going off and carrying. But a big reason why he needed to be the one to go off and carry is because he wasn't the best fit for our team dynamic, and that did have a negative impact on a lot of the other players within the team.
I do think he's a really good player, but as time goes on, it was kind of out of the game stuff that we didn't as a team match him, and he didn't really understand why we were doing certain things. So I just think overall we weren't a really good fit.
Dardoch was even given another chance on Team Liquid, but that ended up being more of the same.
Sorry to everybody that I've caused emotional pain to or mental strain. Sorry for making so many coaches stressed about me and what the team's gonna do the next day in practice because I can't act right.
Despite his claims that he was a changed man, Dardoch's time with Echo Fox and OpTic Gaming both ended in a pretty similar way.
My line of bad behavior has gone on for so long, and my line of good behavior is not as long. So I do understand the aspect of having to prove yourself, but I think at this point it's a little tired.
But Dardoch kept getting signed to more teams, and it made a lot of people ask, Why was this toxic team wrecker getting a shot on so many rosters?
And they kind of told me that he had blown up here, had problems here, problems with teammates. I said, well, look, let's bring him in and talk to him. Let's interview him. Came in, big smile on his face, sat down, crossed his legs. And I was like, something's not quite adding up. And I said, why is everybody scared of you? And he goes, because I just want to win. And they go, if they're not doing what I think it takes to win, I'll tell them. I respect that. I'm the same way.
What can Dardoch do on the top side of the map? Level 9 versus 8 actually got a lot of XP on this E. Pops the ult and forcing that down. It's very, very low HP in the Aatrox. Can he get the chase? He goes in for the flash. EQ! Dardoch solo kills Aatrox.
That's the ultimate down from Gate. He uses the quickness out of vision, which means he can get in after that cooldown goes off. And they are just going to obliterate Counter Logic Gaming. The Orn Horn comes through. That's Tuesday's steal. He says, why are you hitting yourself? And it's going to be Alorum saying, that's fine. I didn't even feel it. As they go back into the fight, Tuesday goes down. That's a triple kill coming in for Dardoch as he just goes off on Kane.
Unlucky here. Shotgun going to find Jensen. The root's going to come back through. Here comes the engage, and Dardoch doesn't want to be part of this. Oh my gosh, just kidding. Takes one down, blocks the shot. Dardoch is amazing. Double kill comes through, and Smoothie going to trade his life for that kill. That was actually immaculate.
But Dardoch getting thrown around from team to team and never really finding his place made a lot of fans lose hope. But the end of 2019 looked to be the start of a new chapter in Dardoch's life. He joined TSM as their new jungler.
Stunts there on the front line, going to be taken low. However, the Gargoyle Stone Plate will keep him healthy enough. Bullet time goes out, but Biofrost walks out of the way. Stunt is going to be killed by Bjergsen. Biofrost continues to hop out, and Dardoch grabs a lot of damage, a lot of CC, and that's all they needed. A double kill for the jungler, a triple kill, and an ace for TSM.
TSM looked like Dardoch's last chance. If things didn't work out there, his career could have been over.
So let's talk about this jungle matchup. Dardoch, once again, has a very storied history in the LCS, a contentious one to say the least, but he's now found a home on TSM. Is this the team to allow him to rise to hit that kind of stardom status?
It has to be.
From the outside looking in, it seemed like Dardoch had finally seen the error of his ways.
Honestly, the biggest worry that most people had when TSM signed Dardoch this year, and one of the most controversial, I guess, signings was mainly based on attitude that people had heard about him, being difficult to work with or, not being the greatest communicator in game. Honestly, I have heard nothing negative about Dardoch since joining TSM. I think that he has done a very good job turning around that story that has followed him.
But behind the scenes, everything was going wrong.
Picking for this guy was maybe a mistake.
Not up to me. Like, for example, no one wants to pick up Dardoch. That's not my fault.
Even though publicly it looked like Dardoch was a reformed man, that phone call made it seem like behind the scenes, things were the same as they always were.
Dardoch has been a troublesome part of the TSM roster. From the start, in the first few weeks of practice, there was a big blow up from Dardoch, and talks were had, and TSM and Dardoch both thought things would get better. But throughout the season, there has been constant problems, and the sports psych has been working directly with him, way more so than any other player, and the results have been pretty middling.
But Dardoch still had the potential. He still could have been the best jungler in North America, even if he was being kicked off a team after just one split again.
I was being pushed towards a style I didn't agree with and I didn't think was good. And I should have had the confidence in myself and my own ability to be like, no, I think this is good. I'm going to continue to play these characters or this way or whatever the case may be, right?
As for how TSM handled this whole thing, well, Dardoch doesn't see it as much of a tragedy. It's embarrassing, sure, but this isn't his first rodeo.
It wasn't like catastrophic, right? Not like everybody's throwing out the word like career ending or things like that, but to be frank, like if your career's in that point to begin with where people are not interested in you, then one leak or somebody saying something like that isn't necessarily going to be the tipping point of my career's downfall or something like that.
And of course, Dardoch's phenomenal skills meant there was a new team ready and lined up to give him a shot as soon as he was done with TSM.
Fight onto Viper, Galio over the top. He's gonna ult to get rid of the knockup. A lot of damage comes in, the hook gonna pull him out. Is there enough of a fight here? Because the arrow's coming in, it stuns the mid laner. Viper gets into the shield, and Hooney's going to drop. So will the mid laner yet again. Dignitas winning a fight. In for Svenskeren. Yes, he's going to drop a triple kill in for Dardoch. Dignitas will not be stopped.
Honestly, I'm very happy to be here, I won't lie. My spring, while it didn't go how I wanted it to or how I expected it to. It went extremely poorly, right? So I wasn't happy with it, and I was very much excited to have an opportunity to get out of that team I was on. So yeah, I'm very excited to be here, and I'm very happy to be on Dig.
Despite Dardoch's best efforts, Dignitas didn't do that great, ultimately falling to TSM in the playoffs.
This is the end of the series and the end of the line for Dignitas, as TSM will make swift work of Dignitas with a 3-0 victory and will move on to the next round of playoffs.
His contract with Dignitas expires in November, so his future with the team is far from certain. But for the most part, nothing came out this split about his attitude or toxicity. It seemed like at long last, someone finally found a way to funnel his fiery passion to the game in the right direction, away from his teammates.
Just in general nowadays, I try to stay away from, not necessarily expressing myself, but just, giving 110 for what I really think, unless I'm very, very, very passionate about it.
Whether Dardoch is truly reformed remains to be seen, but the fans are rooting for him. They want to see him finally realize his potential, finally find that balance between passion and humility that could make him great, that could let him take his place among the league's finest. But his time may be running out. There are only so many teams he hasn't joined left.
Thanks for watching. If you want more content like this, hit the sub button and ring that notification bell. For unique bite-sized videos you won't find anywhere else, hit up our Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook pages.